Thomas was 32. He had 3 kids. He had a load of friends. He used to come over every day, and basically he was my baby. The accident was on the 29th of September 2008. He was up on the roof, and we didn't know at the time it was a fragile roof. Apparently what it was the point that he was at when he went to collect a bar to throw over the side into a skip was weak. It was cracked, and he stepped on it, and that was it. David and that said that all you heard was the crack, and you turned round and he was gone. And at 12:15, Mandy phoned and said Thomas was dead. But then we got told they might have to identify him either by DNA or by his tattoos. And for about a week, maybe more. And I thought about how he died. I would hear, I mean it was just in my mind, but I would hear like a slap, like somebody hitting the floor.
I was a builder, self-employed, doing one-off houses, extensions, and had quite a nice small business really, and felt good about things. July the 18th, 2010, on a Sunday morning. Now I'd previously done a bit of a barn conversion, a bit of work for these farmers, not too many miles from here, and I was busy with work, but they'd rung me up and asked me to have a look at some sheets on a barn that was leaking. It was only 12 foot from 12 foot high, but I thought I'm not going to do the higher ones up, but I felt so comfortable, if you like, about doing the lower levels. I know I said it was a barn, but it was quite a substantial building, steel framed, probably built in the 60s, and the roof was done out of asbestos sheeting. I fell through one of the openings. I can't remember how or what had happened, but I'm assuming it was slippery, etc., and I fell. But I was on my own. I'd got no scaffolding, I'd got no duct boards. I did everything that I knew about health and safety. I did it wrong. And I made a terrible mistake that day, and I have to live with the consequences of that, and the family has to live with it.
It was a normal working day, farm working day, and we were actually cleaning a guttering out, asbestos guttering on an asbestos roof, which sadly gets every year full of moss. I said to Peter, our son, we'll get this guttering cleaned out before it rains. So we got some crawling boards up there. We went up there, and that's when sadly the accident happened.
As I was stepping up, Ella took a step back and stepped on a light sheet, and they're even more brittle and just went straight through.
I quickly looked round, and all I saw was his arms like that going through and his head, and he fell, I would say 17 to 18 foot down into a workshop onto a concrete floor, and broke his femur badly.
Well, what Dad says, I immediately started shouting in agony, and like Dad says, it was relieving to him. He just saw my arms and head going through, so he says, and it was relieved to hear me shout. And basically I just came down pretty much all my force on my left leg and broke my femur, thigh bone just in half basically.
I was never actually told I was paralysed. I think I had to ask the question. I can't walk now. When I was in hospital all the time, learning to adapt, I couldn't get in and out of bed myself, which I had to use a hoist and etc. Going to the bathroom. Going the first time out, they took me in to have a shower. I was like laid out on a rubber bed, and obviously they did what they had to do to me. And then I realised my dignity's gone here. We didn't have any money coming in for 4 months. You know, so what we had gone. Where would you be if you had no money coming in for 3 or 4 months? But that was a burden that my wife had to take on. It was challenging. I miss it. I miss all them aspects that I used to be able to do, you know, all that physical stuff. And even things like being able to walk the dog, you know. I'd be something like watching your wife take the bins out, which are things that you used to do, you know. I miss it, dreadfully.
We ended up going to court. We were fined because Peter, even though he's my son, he wasn't a partner in the business, and he was paid a wage and employed.
That 2 minutes decision to do something that I shouldn't have done, and you make that 2 minutes mistake, if you like, and you've got the rest of your life to pay for that one. It boils down to the guy, the operator, the guy doing the roofing. Like I say, them standards are out there, so they just need to adhere to them. But I do understand about pressure of earning money as well. You know, well, I've got to get this done today, otherwise I'm not going to be able to pay your mortgage, you know, tax your car, etc. Or I've told him I'm going to do it today, and it's not going to happen. I understand all that, but you just need to take them 2 minutes. It's a great way of putting it. I could have prevented that accident. I should have turned around and said, we're not going to do that job until we've got X, Y and Z. And if he didn't want me to do it in that manner, I wouldn't have done the job.
It's sad, how unfortunate that it has to be a severe accident like that it makes you have to think more, and it does make you think more, and you look at the worst of things what could have happened in our family. I mean, this year Peter's getting married in June, and he could not have been here, so he was just so lucky that he's here.
If somebody was to get run down by a car or a bus, to me, that's an accident. That is an accident. And with Thomas, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't an accident. It could have been prevented, and it should have been prevented. But there was two lots of people that could have put safety in place, and it would have just been one of them to do it, and he would have still been here. And it's such a waste. Make a difference. Do the best you can to make a difference so that it doesn't happen to anybody else.
The system's out there to prevent anything like this, but it's always you that's got to adopt that system, if you like. It's you who've got to bring in place. We all know about scaffolding and etc. But it doesn't matter what happens with management. If you're working for a company, they can set the standards and they can bring it all the way through. But it's the guy on the shop floor, on the building site, wherever he's working. You don't even have to be at work. You can be in your house, it can be in your... that has the accident. And they have to have that mindset and approach to work. I use the word, actually, learn to do a job safely before you learn to do the job.
Unless the safety is in position, do not put a foot on that roof. If you're not sure, ask. I don't think that there'll be ever any closure. I don't think so. Everybody tells you it gets easier. It doesn't. Dying's part of life, but it shouldn't have been part of his. Not yet.
Your well-being, your health and safety is in your own hands, isn't it? And I tend to think, work safe, go home safe.